What's going on YouTube? We are going for the Halo 2 skulls in this video. There are quite a few. I believe there's 15 among the Halo 2 levels. First one, most of these are going to have to be on Legendary. I put a little indicator saying whether they have to be or not. I believe 2 of them don't have to be on Legendary. All the others do. This is the first one in the Armory. You will wait for Johnson. He'll sit in the elevator waiting for you to enter with him. You're going to have to wait approximately 2.5 to 3 minutes until he says the phrase, "Would it help if I said please?" Once he does that, you can go into the elevator or the transit. I don't even know what it is. But you can see right where I'm aiming right there is where the skull will be. Now, it'll be outside of the shuttle, and you will have to hold your pickup button. For me, it was RB. You might have it change, whatever you use to pick up weapons and reload. And you will get it through the shuttle wall, which is probably why the achievement's called That's Just Wrong. Also on Cairo Station, the second skull, you'll come to this area. This is the second area that kind of looks like this. This is the one that has the grunts up on the turret, up in the windows up to my right where I'm looking there. Once you clear out the room, you can jump up here onto the rafters. Don't mind my jumping. And then this jump's a little tricky. Just try to stick the landing before you start to progress. And you will come over to this trash can. Now you can move the trash can. I moved it a little bit so you could see where it was. I believe you can pick it up without even moving the trash can. And there's your skull. Moving on to the third one, we will get, my god, okay. This is the very beginning of Outskirts. You've probably done this many a time to get the Rex Sword or to cheat the level and get to the Hotel Zanzibar. You'll jump up on the light there. You can grenade jump from that location if you need to. Sputnik grenade might help if you need it. Otherwise, you will just jump up, crouch jump up to the second location, and then walk down to the other skull. Now, this one is the hardest skull to get by far, and it's not even a matter of getting it to work. Well, that's what the problem is. Even if you get all 7 checkpoints to show up, you have to trigger 7 checkpoints in this first area. Before checking the location, and then even if you do it all right, there's I believe it's a 1 in 7 chance that the skull will actually show up. So I did this for about 3 hours trying to get these to trying to get the skull to spawn, and I didn't. I ended up stopping the cap because I had the path down, and then I didn't want that much space when I came to edit. So I eventually did get it. I'll show the location in this video. Otherwise, yeah. So the 7 checkpoints, you saw the first one was right where we got the previous skull, the blind skull. Right when we got up to the top, we saw a checkpoint. Second and third checkpoint are then that location that I just left. You'll get there first. Sometimes I feel like you have to crouch to trigger the checkpoint. You'll get the second one, and jackals will spawn. Then once the Marines start to walk forward through that alleyway, you'll get a third checkpoint. Fourth checkpoint sometimes doesn't trigger. You saw me go there. You peek the corner, wait for that guy to spawn, shoot him, and then go to that little corner of the rooftop there. Sometimes it doesn't spawn, sometimes it doesn't. Just keep walking around, and usually they do spawn at a certain point. Fifth one was right there, walking on the rooftop. Sometimes for me that didn't trigger right away, and I had to walk back and walk forward, and eventually it did spawn. Sixth one, right in front of the Hotel Zanzibar. We're going to clear out the area and then crouch on this little beam. Now, by the end of it, I fell off a couple times, and you can reload checkpoint, I believe. I think I did that when I got the skull to actually trigger. You can reload checkpoint and progress, keep going. Just sit here for a little bit, crouched the whole time, and eventually you can see the Marines there. Try not to kill them. And eventually, the way I got this to trigger is usually I walked right over here, and it would spawn. Now, it is on Legendary, so be careful. There are a bunch of snipers in this location, especially one out to my right, which I'm pretty sure... Nope, I didn't keep it in this one. I did get sniped a few times. There's another one out to the little alcove in the roof to my right again. And of course, I fell right there. But usually I got the 7th checkpoint to trigger right here, like you see there. And then once that 7th checkpoint is done, we'll come in here, and that's where the skull's supposed to be. Now, it wasn't there when I was capping because I was pretty pissed off and didn't want to fucking cap some more. But yeah, that's going to be the hardest one to get, and it's basically just luck based whether the game wants to spawn it or not for you. But you'll get it eventually. Next one is the catch skull on Metropolis. We're going to come to this open area after the bridge. This is also where you try to bring the Banshee through that tunnel to my left to get the Scarab gun, which I actually did last night, which was kind of a pain in the ass. But you guys will see that later. So once we clear out the area, there's going to be a bunch of snipers here too. Again, that's legendary, so it's going to be a pain in the ass because they're one-shot kills and they're magnificent with their aiming. But we're going to grenade jump. Sputnik, of course, helps. You don't need it. You saw me miss the first time, and then you just have to try to get up as high as you can if you're not using the Sputnik, and go across the beam there and pick up your skull. Next one is the Grunt Birthday Party Skull, which was a cool Easter egg back when achievements weren't actually a thing. But this is on the level Arbiter. You'll chase the heretic out to where he's gonna fly to another location. This is towards the end of the level. This is the last flying section before you get to the door where he actually is. You have to escort the Phantom to try to find him. So once we do that, we're gonna grab the Banshee, fly down to the middle little pillar thing down here. There's 3 of them. Go to the middle one towards the back, and you'll see the grunts dancing, and take the skull. This is the Famine Skull on the next mission. Oracle, legendary, of course, needed again, because why not? After the elevator sequence, we'll come down that hallway, and we'll come over here. There'll be a bunch of flood and a few of the heretics guys fighting. You can clear it out a little bit. You don't have to. I mean, you're going to have to clear out this room eventually to progress through the level. But we're going to go across this room, jump on this platform, miss our first crouch jump, of course. Because why would you make the crouch jump when you're capping for YouTube, right? So finally we make it up here. There's a bunch of flood. This one, there's a couple of these skulls where there's people watching it and dancing and whatnot, and I was not sure about those locusts, but they will not attack. I mean, I killed them afterwards, but yeah. Next skull, Envy on Delta Halo. After you cross the bridge where the wraiths are, it's legendary, so there's 2 wraiths this time. You'll go through a bunch of areas with Ghost Trick getting you, and then you'll come to this area where there's a bunch of turrets and grunts on turrets and stuff. Easier to clear out the level because there are ghosts hovering around and stuff. I was using the Scarab gun, so that was pretty easy. And then we'll jump up to the left, jump up to the left again, and then crouch or grenade jump up to where the skull is, and there's 2 elites up there. Next one, Assassins on Regret. This is after the first gondola ride. After you kill the 2 hunters that the Phantom drops down, you'll cross the gondola, jump onto another gondola, keep going, and then we'll come up here to where they were shooting us when we came here. We'll jump up here, jump up on this beam to make it easier, jump up, and then follow this all the way around, and then you will find your skull next to 2 cloaked elites with swords, and you feel a little bit weird jumping down there because they could probably easily kill you. I will note this is one of the skulls, just like the blind skull, that was not needed for you did not have to have legendary difficulty equipped. Next one, Mythic on Sacred Icon. This is towards the end of the level. If you played this level, there's a bunch of going down chutes, I'll call them, or pistons. You shoot the piston, it opens up a chute, you fall down it. You'll get to an outside part. You know what it is. You basically drop down. There's a balcony or whatever where there's a bunch of sentinels fighting flood. You'll follow that, drop down another piston. Then this is what the room is right after that. And we'll come over here. You saw the grenade jump. The boxes, with using the Scarab gun, you can knock the boxes over, I believe. If you do, you can just jump on the thing to the left of where my boxes were that I used, and grenade jump, or maybe you might be able to crouch jump up there, but once you get up there, grab the skull and it's yours. Sputnik, very beginning quarantine zone. Instead of progressing forward, we'll turn 180 degrees around, and we will follow this back to the first area. And up on that beam in front of me is going to be the Sputnik skull. And of course you can quit the chapter if you want to afterwards, but I was going through legendary to get those achievements. Sputnik, or the Scarab gun, does not void the legendary achievements or anything like that. I think it just messes up scoring. It's kind of weird. Angry Skull on the level Grave Mine. This is the first open area, the outdoors area in this level that you will get to. You'll open the door. There'll be a brute and an elite fighting, and then there'll be a bunch of hunters. Where that brute just came from is where the level progresses through that door behind that area. Instead of going through that, we will jump up here, make that jump up here, and we will use the rocks to get up to that area I was just looking at. That is also where the Cortana doll is, if you watch that video I did a couple weeks earlier. The Cortana doll is at the very end of this thing. Because it's legendary, a grunt will spawn. Where I just panned right there is where you actually come out from. And you can see the skull hovering there in that pink man cannon-y little lift. I'll show you the doll here just in case you're going for that as well. Plus I wanted to get a good look at them when I went through and did them. I just picked them up. I didn't actually get to look at them. They are pretty cool Easter eggs. And pick up your skull, and you're good on this level. Excuse me. Now, usually the achievements popped at right after picking them up. A few of them took a while. Alright. The ghost skull on uprising, after you go down the whole waterfall section after the beginning area and kind of where the two wraiths are, you will come to this place. I don't think you can, you might be able to skip it if you go straight and fight the wraiths in the next area, but you're going to want to come into this inside area. There's an armory in there, and then right after the armory we're going to look up behind the door, or up above the door that we come through. Sputnik's skull obviously helps. I'm pretty sure you might need it for this one. And then we're going to grenade jump up there, and then we're going to remember where the skull is instead of jumping around like an idiot like I was. And it's right on the platform, right near it, and that's the area where the wraiths are. Alright, second to last skull, we are going for the iron skull. It is on the mission High Charity. We will need legendary for this one again. You'll come to this room, you'll have to progress through the level for quite a bit. I believe you take an elevator to get up to this room, but the landmark is that door right there with the pink mark on it. Excuse me. And once the door opens here, this is also the room that has the terminal out to my left. It also has a sword in the middle of the room, which I will pick up, I believe. Maybe not. I was probably just showing it because the sword can't use the scarab skull. But we're going to progress through that, and the skull is actually halfway through this lift going up. So while you go up, look up and hold your reload or pick up button, and you will pick up the skull along the way. And finally, we are going on the great journey for the Black Eyes skull. You will go through the first area, the first building. You will unlock your hunters and whatnot. You will watch the cutscene where Johnson takes the scarab, spoiler alert, and you will fly the Banshee after clearing the area for... Hey, you don't have to clear the area for... I'm sorry about that. You can just fly. It is on legendary, so there's a few specters. Try to stay low, and when you get to the area where there's a bunch of rocks in the middle, you can fly to the right of the rocks, and usually you won't take much damage. And then once you get out to where the beach is, you can fly down to make sure no one shoots you from behind. And right here, we're going to land to the left of where the door opens, where Johnson uses the scarab to blast open the door for you to progress through the level. We're going to land to the left of that. There's an invisible wall, so once you get onto that wall, you're going to bail out your Banshee, and then we're going to follow it all the way over here, because the skull is halfway up the building. So we're going to use these rocks, get all the way over here, and we're going to jump up. It looks like a steep incline, but you actually can make it. I show a little bit here and towards the beginning. If you jump, you do go a little bit faster. And once you get to the top, your skull will be waiting, and once you pick it up, you should get the achievement for that skull. And if you're following this guide, you will get the achievement for the rest of the skulls. So I hope it helped, and good luck everybody.